Hi, I'm Dr. Brie Kara. I'm a doctor of psychology, financial educator, astrologer, and the founder of Forecasting for Success, a community of people improving their financial literacy to achieve financial independence. And I am the host of your new favorite podcast, Forecasting for Success. Join me every Friday to listen in on an astrology reading with a client where we will discuss their money questions, why they feel stuck financially, and what tips they can begin actioning to help them move forward and improve their personal finances. I blend my expertise as a former professor and financial intelligence analyst with the tool of astrology to help break down why guests are struggling with specific money habits and the best way to form more intentional responses and choices when it comes to money. This podcast is helpful for anyone interested in learning actionable advice on how to improve their personal finances, and for anyone interested in learning more about astrology, since I go into detail about unique patterns and transits that can impact your money. I use astrology as a helpful tool to get specific about your money habits and see this resource through a new lens to help you feel more secure in your financial decisions and to improve your money skills for building long-term wealth. I hope you join me each week for the Forecasting for Success podcast and tune in on your preferred podcast platform. Here's a little taste of what's to come. But for just an average person, even if you were to start saving this at age 18, the 93-year clock would start at that time. And so that's why it's not possible to save to retirement. That's why we need investing. Because the trick with investing is that that's pretty much the only time when compound interest works in our favor. Normally, compound interest is something that we try to avoid. So for instance, that's why it's recommended to pay off your credit cards, is because you're trying to avoid that compound interest.
As a Virgo Mars, I really like things that are just crystal clear. You know, like don't use a lot of words, right? Like just, so I like that, just like very clear.
So I did want to ask a question. If you've ever had this desire to buy a house and whether or not
Yes, like I think that when I understood that me not looking for something stable or anything, it was just how my brain was wired, because I grew up in a very unstable economy, culture. So every day, like for context, I come from Argentina, so Latin America is known that you wake up and there's always a new crisis, always more inflation and more stuff. So you just learn to live by surviving. So I wired that in my brain, and now that I became conscious about that, it shifted, and now it's like I don't want to stay in a place like forever, but starting especially from this year, my goal is I want to earn more because I want to buy a house. It will make me feel like more grounded, at least to have a base. Then move and travel around the world, but you nailed it.
That's actually really important to recognize. And I'm glad to hear you say having it more as a home base, because to be honest with you, when I look at your chart, I wanted to caution you against buying a house that would heavily impact your finances. I made a little note about you have a lot of squares and oppositions in your chart. And in plain English, what this means is it's like you playing life on hard mode. And so this...
God, there has never been anything truer in my entire life. Let's make it difficult.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
A natural part of us living is figuring out how to have this exchange of goods and services. And it's natural. It's not something, like you said, that has to be charged or scary or untouchable.
Yeah, that just felt like it shifted something in me, like really, really fundamentally.
Oh, that's lovely. I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah. It's just like anything else. You just have to practice.
Absolutely.
It's a skill.
That's right.
It's amazing. Yeah, that's so much better.
Oh, that's lovely. Yeah, please take all the time that you need to sit with that. I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah. And I can do hard things, so
Absolutely.
yeah. I love it.
Mm-hmm.